Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. Welcome to your July 2024 Astro Update. It's Rena here, and I'm starting this reading over again. I don't know what I was babbling about at the beginning. But anyway, I'm a Sag, Sun sign. I also have Mercury in Sagittarius. And the reason I'm saying that is that if you have Sagittarius rising, yeah, definitely listen. If you have the Sun in Sagittarius, you can listen. I just received that question the other day, and I was hoping that people already know this because, yeah, definitely your rising sign, but you don't have to choose between them. As a matter of fact, I think even in Vedic astrology, they suggest women look at the moon sign. Listen to the moon sign. But in any case, that's quite the rabbit hole, isn't it? The other thing that I want to make it clear is that this is a general reading, unless you're looking at the actual chart. And I would say, if I had to pick, I would say the natal chart, which is based on your rising sign, that it really does reflect day-to-day events. So that's what these readings are meant to discuss. So yeah, if you only could pick, one over the other, I would suggest listening to your rising sign. But you don't have to pick, so why do it? And you can get something from listening to your sun sign. So this is a month where there's energy in Cancer, of course, because July is dominated. The sun is in Cancer for more than it's not. And Cancer for Sag is the 8th house. Well, that's a water house. Cancer is a water sign. The 8th house is a water house. And they say that water puts out fire. And so whenever a fire sign has transits with water, they may feel like that very enthusiastic part of themselves is doused a little bit. And, that's life in the big city, isn't it? We're not always going to be inspired and have everything go our way. But what I have found, and of course, if you have a lot of earth or water in your personal points, then you're good to go because you're going to have harmonious influences. I certainly have that myself. So it's definitely not something that has to be bad. But in the 8th house, I don't care who you are, it's going to be intense. We know that because that's Scorpio's domain. The 8th house represents the other people's money on the mundane level. So whether it is inheritance, because this is also the house of transformation, and death is the biggest transformation of them all. So it could be inheritance or you breaking up with an ex and the aftermath of that, the money and all of that. And it can be shamanic studies, metaphysical studies, astrology and the tarot and all of that good stuff, magical studies. Working with crystals is an example of that. So the sun is there, and then on the 2nd, Mercury, which has been in that 8th house, goes into the 9th house. So while, you guys, a lot of people are going to be listening in June. When Mercury is in your 8th house, you may be studying some kind of occult practices, or maybe you're dealing with shared resources, and there's paperwork. Mercury can be that paperwork or whatever. But it could be loans, so it doesn't have to be money that you're receiving on the behalf of relatives or significant other. It could be something like a loan. And so Mercury going into the 9th house on the 2nd, the 9th house can be higher education. So this may have something to do with student loans. Um, this can also be about making travel plans. Since Mercury is the paperwork that you need to go through, filing, getting your passport if you're going to travel somewhere. And, we're in the summertime in the Northern Hemisphere at least. And this is a time of vacations and whatnot. But even if you are traveling abroad, this is academia, the ninth house. So if you're either teaching or learning abroad, then you might be getting prepared. On the same day, Neptune goes retrograde at 29 degrees, 56 minutes of Pisces, almost at Aries, but no cigar. That will come next March. And then instead of squaring off Sag, it'll make a trine. Won't that be nice? So this is this is in your fourth house of home and family. Neptune retrograde can be a reality check. This can be something where you were in la la land and now you are seeing the reality of a situation. You may feel a sense of betrayal because there could have been deception involved. That could involve your mother, or if you tie the fourth house to the father, then to him. It could be about your childhood. Maybe you find out the truth about something that you were told one thing, but it was really another, or you find out on your own, or it's even some, it could be a repressed memory that reemerges that was very traumatic and makes you realize, maybe you shoved it under the rug. And you realize now that you have to face the music about it. On the 5th of July, we have a new moon at 14 degrees of Cancer, so back in that 8th house. And that could be beginning some sort of study in the occult arts, be it astrology, the tarot, or anything else that grabs your fancy or that you feel that you would be good at. That could be happening for sure. And you could feel a sense of, this is, well, actually I was going to say, this can be the phoenix rising from the ashes, because the 8th house has that theme of rebirth. So you may feel that rebirth in your life. On the 11th, Venus goes into Leo. And this is that 9th house. So you know what I'm thinking? Since Venus can be associated with love, I'm thinking that some of you may be communicating, that's why Mercury is there, with somebody from a foreign country or another nationality, and there's love involved. So it could be a romantic thing. Maybe you're going to visit them. Venus can also be about money. So you may be making money from foreigners. And I do believe by extension this could be online, because the opposite house, the 3rd house, is specifically associated with like social media and online stuff. But in the 9th house, this could be like even publishing. So I think a nice percentage of Sages are good writers. What do you think? So that could be occurring. On the 20th, Mars goes into Gemini. So back a couple of years ago, Mars hung out in Gemini for 7 months while it retrograded. So it hasn't been there since, because, it took its sweet time until March of 2023 to even go into Cancer. And that was late in the month, almost into April. So here we have it over a year later. That's pretty significant. But it's in this 7th house, which is the house of committed partnership. It's also a house of public relations. So if you were promoting yourself, couple of years ago and you kind of slacked off or something, just you felt, okay, now I've done it, you might be resuming that. In terms of relationship stuff, this could be that you're really active with your partner. Mars can be activity. In some cases, this will not be true for everybody, because if you're getting along with your partner, why would you be fighting? Unless there was some specific thing that comes up where you can't agree. But for other people who are already struggling in their relationships, this could be a time of maybe argumentativeness, especially being argumentative because it's in Gemini. So that can be the people who bicker and whatnot. But again, that's only for those people who are doing this. This can also be, maybe there's some kind of adventure that the two of you are embarking upon. I suppose it could be something even in a foreign country, but that you're doing it with this person, like a hike. I think of Mars, I think of physicality. Maybe you're starting an exercise routine with your significant other. If you have a business partner, there could be, conflict with that. And with the 8th house activity, it might be, maybe you discover that this other person is not, hasn't been straight with you about something. On the 21st, so that's the very next day, the full moon, which is the blue moon, is at 29 degrees of Capricorn. And this is in your second house of earned income. I honestly think that this could be an amazing, maybe like a windfall coming to Sagittarius. I don't know what another astrologer would think about that. But the full moon is a very fertile time. And it can be a situation where it's kind of like, what's that term? Critical mass. If you've been working hard at something connected to a job or career, your passion project, your business, and maybe you didn't see any results of that, and then all of a sudden it's like you just go from famine to feast, and it's just like a deluge of financial resources. And because it's a blue moon, it carries that rare quality that it's not something that happens every day. Also, I do believe with the opposite house engaged, the 8th house, because that's what happens at the time of a full moon. The sun is in the opposite house, directly opposing it. So the sun is in that 8th house. That could be that that's the source of the money that you're getting from some other person. And, because it is within orb of the Pluto retrograde that happened in Capricorn. I mean, it happened in Aquarius too, but it went back to like 27 degrees of Capricorn at the end of 2023. Because of that, there might be something connected to that is playing out here. So maybe you had a very, like if you have your own business, you had a very profitable autumn in your business, and then things kind of, shifted, and now, you're going to really see it go to the next level in some cases. So, I mean, if you're retiring, this, because it is at the critical degree, this could be like the end of you earning money the way that you earn money. So you might be transitioning from the funds that you use, that you work for, to the funds that you get from retirement sources. And that's an example of something where that's wonderful, because that will afford you more time to do other things. And so it's not like it's bad, but it could be very intense for people in that circumstance, because it's like the end of an era. The next day, the very next day, the sun goes into Leo, into that 9th house. So it goes into this philosophical area of life, and you may be thinking, and again, thinking about the meaning of life. If you received some money, and maybe it's like a substantial sum of money, you may be counting your blessings, but very philosophical about it, and, thinking why you attracted this. And it's possible that if you've always wanted to train as something that is connected to the 9th house, or even the 8th house by extension, that you have the money to do it. So maybe you've always wanted to be a shaman. Maybe you've always wanted to be a yoga teacher or a Reiki master. And now you might have the leisure time where you don't have to pay your bills by the sweat of your brow to be able to do that. I said maybe. I don't know how this is going to show up for everybody, but the sun is your sense of embodiment, what you came here to do, what you came here to accomplish. On the 25th, Mercury goes into Virgo, the sign that it rules. Virgo is a fellow mutable sign. This is going to fall in your 10th house of career. So now we're going to start to get into career stuff. So I do think that this month is great for money, but also it's kind of working up to something that could be connected to your career and what it is that's going on. I think this is also a great month for transforming your life in general. Okay, that's what I have for you, Sag. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a personal reading, I did get into a period of time where I was doing a lot of Sagittarius readings, which isn't necessarily the norm, even when I tell people that I'm a Sag. But yeah, for a while there, that was happening. And I'm promoting my deep dive reading because it's a package deal. And also because the 2 readings that are in that package are, well, the reading is discounted. The package is a discounted price. Some people are interested in their chart, but once they, get it analyzed, they might be interested in, hey, what, the next 12 months, what's happening? And that is what the transits reading is all about. I take it out 12 months from the time that the person orders it. So that's called my deep dive reading. And I have standalone readings with career and love, transits, obviously, and just the natal chart analysis, looking at your child's chart to see how you interact, like your energies. What else? I know I have something else. But anyway, the link is below. Thanks for listening. Bye.